Before you finish this sentence, your brain has already predicted what comes next because the human mind is not reactive, it is predictive, but constantly guessing the future to minimize effort and danger, which is why surprises feel so powerful and uncertainty feels so uncomfortable. And this predictive nature explains why habits are so hard to break. Because once the brain learns a pattern, it runs it automatically to save energy, even if that pattern is harmful. And interestingly, the brain consumes nearly 20% of the body's total energy while being only 2% of body weight. So it naturally avoids thinking deeply unless absolutely necessary, which is why most decisions are made subconsciously within milliseconds and only later justified consciously. And this also explains why first impressions are so strong, because the brain forms them in less than 7 seconds, and then aggressively filters information to confirm them, a bias known as confirmation bias. And emotionally, your brain reacts faster to faces than words, meaning tone. Facial expression and body language influence you more than logic ever will, which is why people often trust confident speakers even when they are wrong. And another unsettling fact is that the brain is terrible at distinguishing imagined experiences from real ones. So vividly imagining failure can trigger the same stress response as actually failing, increasing anxiety and self-doubt, while vividly imagining success activates motivation pathways, which is why visualization works when done correctly. And psychologically, people remember unfinished tasks better than completed ones, a phenomenon called the Zgarnik effect, which is why cliffhangers feel irresistible and why unresolved emotional conflicts linger in your mind for years. And the brain also exaggerates how much others are thinking about you, a bias known as the spotlight effect, making people feel judged even when most others are focused on themselves. And this false sense of attention fuels social anxiety, while another hidden truth is that the brain prefers simple explanations over accurate ones, meaning complexity feels threatening, which is why misinformation spreads faster than nuanced truth. And emotionally, anger is often a secondary emotion that masks fear, shame, or helplessness, because the brain uses anger to regain a sense of control. And when it comes to happiness, the brain quickly adapts to positive changes, a process called hedonic adaptation, meaning new achievements, possessions, or praise lose emotional impact faster than expected, which is why constant chasing never leads to lasting satisfaction. And surprisingly, boredom is not a lack of stimulation, but a lack of meaning, because the brain craves purpose more than pleasure. And when deprived of meaning, it creates restlessness and dissatisfaction. And another powerful psychological fact is that people feel more connected to those who reveal weaknesses than strengths, because vulnerability signals trust and authenticity, triggering bonding hormones like oxytocin, while perfection triggers distance rather than admiration. And neurologically, the brain treats almost winning as more motivating than winning or losing, which is why near misses are so addictive in games, gambling, and even social media engagement. And perhaps the most disturbing truth is that the brain will protect your self-image even at the cost of reality, rewriting memories, rationalizing mistakes, and blaming external factors to preserve identity, because psychological consistency feels safer than truth. And in the end, the most important fact is that awareness alone does not change behavior. Repetition does, because the brain is not changed by knowing, it is changed by doing, again and again, until the neural pathways reshape who you are.